Dave Hakstol is the new head coach of your Seattle Kraken. For those who don't know, this is a man who coached at North Dakota, which is one of the better hockey schools in the country, for a very long time, 2004 through 2015. And he got the team to the Frozen Four 7 times. After that, he was the head coach of the Philadelphia Flyers. He took the Flyers to the playoffs twice in his 3.5 seasons. His first year, they lost in the first round. Second year, they missed the playoffs. Third year, they lost in the first round as well. Never great, consistent, but never great. And honestly, I can't really speak to the Flyers' level of talent over those years. I don't know, and Maura, I bet you can touch on this a little bit better than me because you are our resident hockey expert. If that was a team that actually had a chance to go farther, but whatever the case, they felt they were underachieving enough in the 2018-2019 season after 31 games and a 12-15-4 overtime loss start. They were like, all right, we are going to move on. We are going to go in a different direction. And since then, he has been an assistant coach for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, I feel like there is maybe hockey is a sport where there is not a lot of patience for.
It does seem that way
compared to some others. Yeah, it's like if you're talented enough to make the playoffs within a couple of years and you don't make it past the first round, you're not going to have a very long leash.
Isn't it so strange because there seems to be more parity in hockey than in any other sport? I mean, right now, just take a look at the Eastern Conference Finals. The Tampa Bay Lightning are the most talented team, I think, in hockey. And on the other side of things, it's not to say the Islanders aren't, but the Islanders, after losing a game 8-0, I mean, they're taking it to Game 7. So it's one of those sports where really anyone can go on a run at any point in time. 2 years ago, the Lightning had the best record in hockey, and they got swept in the first round by the Columbus Blue Jackets of all team.
The Canadiens might end up in the finals this year, and, I mean, they were supposed to lose first round.
Exactly, and, I mean, my goodness.
They barely made it in.
That's the best part about hockey's playoffs. It's intense, it's aneurysm-inducing, but that is the new hire for your Seattle Kraken, Dave Hakstol. John Morosi, we love John Morosi. He talks baseball for us, and he also talks hockey for us. And now that there's a hockey team in town, we do need somebody to tell us a little bit more about Dave Hakstol. One of my friends who used to cover Hakstol in North Dakota tells me that he has a stare that can pierce your soul, and that every now and then when he was doing 30-minute television shows with him, he was like a little intimidated by said stare. Here's what John Morosi has to say about Dave Hakstol. He thinks the hire makes sense for the Kraken.
Dave Hakstol checks a number of boxes the Kraken have been looking for. He has a teaching background of younger players from his 7 appearances in the Frozen Four as head coach at North Dakota. He also coached 2 playoff teams with the Philadelphia Flyers in the NHL. So it's that crossover combination of young coaching experience with the NHL experience that makes Hakstol a very appealing candidate and choice as the Kraken's first head coach.
John Morosi also brought up TJ Oshie, who is someone from Everett, and I don't know if TJ Oshie is a possibility for the Kraken in the expansion draft, but he's a right winger for the Washington Capitals. For those who don't know, but for what it's worth, TJ Oshie, he played at North Dakota. Dave Hakstol was his coach. Here's more John Morosi on Dave Hakstol.
And very importantly, on one of his first teams at North Dakota, he had TJ Oshie, the forward who grew up in the Seattle area, and many have speculated on as a possible captain of the Kraken following the various moves that are to come through the expansion draft.
That would be very cool to have a homegrown guy as the captain of the Kraken. Sounds weird. The captain of the Kraken as we go into this season. Right? Captain Kraken here. Sounds like some knockoff cereal that you would find. Or perhaps a knockoff bottle of rum that is not quite Captain Morgan. Calico Jack. That was the plastic bottle version in college, and goodness gracious, that stuff burned.